Hi guys! Today I want to talk about my first book haul of 2021. These are from a couple of different places. I went on a bit of a post-Christmas book buying binge, so I'm going to talk about them today. Starting off with my book of the month choices, I somehow chose the two shortest selections they had to offer this month, but the first one is Outlawed by Anna North. This is a feminist western, take on the kid and the hole-in-the-wall gang. I'm about halfway through, actually just over halfway through this one, and it takes place in like a alternate reality United States in which like a pandemic kind of wiped out a huge chunk of the population, and women are having a hard time conceiving children, and so our main character gets cast out of her community because she can't conceive a child, and she's worried she's gonna get hanged as a witch, and she ends up joining an all-women gang of other outcasts, all the while she's trying to figure out the source of her barrenness. It's really interesting so far, and I'm excited to see how it ends. The second book of the month choice I had was The Removed by Brandon Hobson. I believe this is an Own Voices novel. It draws from Cherokee folklore, and it focuses on a family who's lost their son. They do a bonfire every year to remember him. I don't know much beyond that, but it sounds really fascinating, and the reviews I've read for this have been excellent so far. My next stack of books are from my local bookstore. They do new and pre-owned books, and I find so many good deals there. So if I see something really cheap, I'll buy it usually if I've heard that it's good. So that's what the majority of these ones are. So starting off, we have Middlegame by Seanan McGuire. I haven't read anything by her before, but I've heard nothing but good things about her writing. This one, I believe, has to do with alchemy and this doctor that creates two children, one that really excels in like math, and I believe the other one is science. And so this is the story about the two of them growing up, and they become like, they're sort of like gods among men. I don't know, it sounds so interesting, and I'm really eager to jump into Seanan McGuire's writing because she's got like a whole catalog of really cool stuff. So I don't know when I'm gonna get to this one. I picked it up because it was pre-owned, about half the price of a regular hardcover, but I'm excited to get to it at some point. This next book is actually the only one from this stack that is not a pre-owned book, but it's a sequel to a book I read in 2020 and I loved so much. And this one is Well Played by Jen DeLuca. It's the sequel to Well Met. I was just so taken with Well Met. I read it last year, and I don't read like a lot of romances. I'm getting a little bit more into the genre, but that one takes place, and this one takes place at a Renaissance festival, and it's so delightfully charming and a little nerdy, and it was like my perfect romance novel. It was great. So I'm really excited to read the sequel. This one follows a different character than the first one, but I'm so sure I'm gonna love it. I'm very excited. These next two are probably the most impressive finds from my local bookstore, and that's because they were so cheap. This one is the entire Inheritance Trilogy by N.K. Jemisin, and I found it for 50 cents. Can you believe it? The spine is definitely like bent. It's not in the prettiest shape, but I've never read N.K. Jemisin before. I have heard their fantasy stories are amazing, and rather than spending $30 on, the whole set and not sure if I'm gonna like it, I figured I'd pick this one up when I saw it, and if I love it, I can always upgrade to a fancier version later on, but I could not pass this up for 50 cents. 3 books in one. It was crazy. And this next one was kind of another opportunity buy. I do not own the first one. I fully plan on reading the whole trilogy at some point because, like all of these, I've heard nothing but good things. But I found The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang, also for 50 cents. This is the second book in the Poppy War trilogy. And again, it's a little beat up. It's got some like sticker residue, but honestly, not that bad for 50 cents. Like, some of the books in the 50-cent bin at my local bookstore are really beat up. So this was like kind of a diamond in the rough. I think I might be able to even clean that up a little bit. So very exciting find. Was hoping they'd have the first one also for 50 cents, but I'm totally fine buying that one full price after the deal I got on this one. This last stack of books is from Book Outlet, and most of these are kind of me catching up on hyped books from the last couple of years. that I've sort of missed the train on, and I wanna get on the train. So the first book that I got from Book Outlet was Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. Again, I've heard amazing things about this and its sequel, Muse of Nightmares. I haven't read any Laini Taylor. I know she's got the Daughter of Smoke and Bone series as well, and if I like this one, definitely interested in picking that up. The new covers for those ones are beautiful. I've had to stop myself from buying those just because of the beautiful covers several times, but I've heard this one's really beautiful writing, and the story is really enchanting. I couldn't pass it up. It was a good deal, so very excited. Next one I picked up was Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. I've heard this is like a mix between Project Runway and Mulan, so I'm intrigued. I've heard a lot of people talking about this as well, and came out within the last year or two. I know it's got a sequel out as well. The art is beautiful, so I could not resist buying it. I also grabbed Wicked Fox by Kat Cho. I know it has something to do with a gumiho, based off of Korean folklore. Other than that, I know very little about it, but I'm interested in reading it. The next one I grabbed was All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. I know the sequel is about to come out for this one, so I wanted to pick this one up and read it. I think it has to do with mermaids and pirates, which is something I haven't really read a lot about in YA fantasy. I know there's a ton out there, but I just haven't really gravitated towards it until recently, so I'm interested in seeing how this one is, and if I love it, I'm definitely gonna pick up the sequel. This next one I went back and forth on buying. I've heard very mixed things, but ultimately what got me was something super embarrassing. I've heard this is kind of like a Rey and Kylo Ren like AU fanfiction basically, and I'm trash, so I'm interested. And that is Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan. Again, I know this is kind of like mixed bag. I'm not sure what to expect. My expectations are low, so I'm hoping I won't be disappointed. This next one was also kind of a cover buy because look how gorgeous. I love this illustration, but it's called The Beast Player by Nahoko Uehashi. I hope I didn't butcher that. She plays a weapon, I think, to care for like water serpents or something. I know like the least about this than like from everything in my pile, but it was a good deal and the cover did enough to intrigue me, so hoping to read this one soon. Next one is How Not to Die Alone by Richard Roper. I know this was a book of the month choice a year or two ago. I've gone back through their archives to kind of look for other books that I've been interested in reading, and I found this one for like $4 or $5 on Book Outlet, so I definitely was like, I'm gonna pick that up because it sounds interesting. This is like a contemporary, which is pretty different from the rest of the stuff in the pile, but I enjoy a good contemporary every now and then, and it was a good deal, so I figured why not. And this last one is something I've heard nothing but good things about, and the sequel is already out, I believe, and that is We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal. I believe this is like a enemies to lovers sort of plot inspired by ancient Arabia, and I love fantasy inspired by other cultures than just like medieval Europe, so I'm really excited to read this one. All right, and that wraps up this video. Hopefully gonna be a while before I do another haul video. I need to pump the brakes on book buying before I gotta read some stuff before I buy anymore, but thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.